Star Citizen combines elements of a massively multiplayer role-playing game, a spaceship sim, and first-person shooter, all in a vast, persistent universe.
Thanks, Wendy.
It has a large, loyal fan base.
Previously, we couldn't have done a planet like this before.
When I was a kid, I wanted to be an astronaut. I ended up being a dentist. I always used to fantasize with being a spaceman, and that's what Star Citizen is.
Coming up behind you.
Star Citizen is important because it's a Chris Roberts game. Chris Roberts started out the Wing Commander franchise in the 90s. It's almost like he's the George Lucas of space games.
Star Citizen came around because Chris Roberts wanted to create the ultimate space sim that hadn't existed. He'd made Wing Commander and he wanted to make the biggest follow-up to that.
But I don't want to build any old game. I want to build a universe. I want to build a game I always wanted to build, but I didn't have the tools to do until now.
So when people then saw it, they saw what he was selling, they saw what he wanted to create, they wanted to invest in that.
And invest they have, so far in excess of $250 million, with $37 million raised in the last year alone. All this for a game which is still in the testing phase and isn't a finished product. Cloud Imperium Games has been developing Star Citizen since 2012. It now has a team of 500 spread across 5 studios in the UK, Germany and the United States. This is the LA office. Even though the team here is busy still making the game, it is playable and being played by gamers at the moment.
This game goes out every 3 months, but it's of course in very, very early alpha. So to a degree, they're having the exact same experience as somebody that would be working on another game as like a QA guy or even as a developer.
But this is a game which from its inception has proved to be controversial. Since the original Kickstarter campaign, its scale has dramatically increased, becoming a much bigger game in the process.
As the crowdfunding grew, so did the scope. What began as an ode to Wing Commander gradually grew into this giant, persistent universe. And, that's a very different product.
As a result of changes to the game, earlier this year, Roberts Space Industries, a subsidiary of Cloud Imperium, was taken to court by a backer seeking a refund of almost $4,500, money he'd spent backing the game. A California judge dismissed the case without prejudice due to a clause in the Star Citizen end-user license agreement, which prevents anyone from taking Roberts Space Industries to court for a refund. The games company says it does issue refunds within a 30-day window. This brings us to the issue that seems to have generated the most headlines for Star Citizen. Money.
$250 million sounds like a lot of money. But when you think the movie Avatar cost $237 million to make, and most estimates put GTA 5 are costing $265 million to make, it's not a crazy amount of cash to put into a game.
From sunny Southern California to grey, wintry Manchester, while development on the game continues, here in Manchester, Citizencon, which is a convention dedicated entirely to the video game, is kicking off. Citizencon is where fans and backers of the game can meet each other, as well as the game's development teams. One of the aspects of the game which has attracted a lot of attention is the ships. There are a plethora of different ships in the game, big and small. They can be purchased with in-game currency, or backers can use real cash, which Cloud Imperium says goes towards further development. Rumours are rife of some backers spending thousands on ships. Most of the people I meet at Citizencon have more modest budgets. How much money have you spent so far?
That's only about $75 to $100.
Probably invested about £250 into the game.
Maybe like £60 or something like that.
There's always exceptions to the rule though.
Yeah, that definitely doesn't look friendly.
I've spent about $7,900 on the game.
Run! $7,900.
$7,900 US, yeah.
Now we should say that you are a streamer, so this is your living,
yeah.
Isn't it?
We do these crazy battles, like 50 players going to war, sci-fi battles, like that's what we do.
Somebody send the backup!
It's here, in the midst of Citizencon, that I catch up with Roberts. What's going on?
Well, I mean, we're trying to build a universe at like a level of detail that no one's done before, and so it's taking longer than we were anticipating when we first announced it.
There's an awful lot of online negativity around Star Citizen. Why do you think that is?
It's easy to be an armchair quarterback or an armchair developer. People aren't used to, don't really know how much work goes into making these games. I mean, there's been some stuff on like Red Dead Redemption 2, but that was 7+ years. It takes time to build games of the sophistication and simulation detail that gamers expect now.
I might just have a gig that I could use you for.
So what's new?
The new planet technology we have, which is much higher fidelity. We've been working on dynamic weather. The other really big thing that we're showing, the first time we're going through a jump point or a wormhole. Basically, as we carry on, we'll be opening up more star systems.
Next year, we've been promised the release of Squadron 42, the single-player campaign aspect of the game. But for now, development continues on the main Star Citizen experience. It seems this game's journey is far from over.